I just wanted to show some of the new geometry tools in Femap version 11 too. This little bracket assembly comes from NX, and I think the NX CAE team uses this with some solid meshing. What I'm going to do is take this and do some mid-surface meshing and some connections. Kind of a typical welded structure where the parts, really don't come fully together. So we're going to do some work once we mid-surface just to get everything connected. But the first thing I'm going to do is just do an automatic mid-surface. Just pick everything in a model. Say OK, and I already know this is about 25 millimeters thick, so I'll just set that as my target distance, and you'll see it quickly finds all the mid surfaces, and I'm just going to turn the solids off. Now the first thing I'm going to do is show you some tools we have for just extending and connecting these pieces together. I'm using some stuff in the meshing toolbox, and since I'm using that a lot, I think I'll drag it out here and hook it up right there. So the first thing, let's do just some geometry editing. We got extend. We got a new thing where I can just go one surface at a time. So what I'm doing now is I'm picking a surface, picking the curve I want to extend, surface and curve I want to extend. You see those two guys now connect, so we're just bringing that corner together. We'll do the same thing here, and then just pick kind of the opposite guys. Now they're all connected together, and then we got to do the same thing. You can see that got to get this middle piece connected, so I'll pick the surface, pick a curve, just shoots them right on there. I'll do the same thing over here, pick the curve, and I see now I got two, so I'm going to pick my surface, pick my curves I want to extend, and pick both of these guys, and you'll see now that everything is kind of put together nicely. So at this point I can just turn that tool off. And you've probably already seen it, but I see it here too, that this thing's really not connected right up to the end here. We do want to get that connected. So the other thing we had is just moving points around on geometry. So I can just pick, basically you pick the entity you want to go to and the point you want to move, and you'll see it snaps right up there. And the same thing's true kind of over here. I see that that point's a little bit high, so let's pick that curve, bring that point down. And the same thing's true. I can actually go and pick this point here and just bring that all together. And just going to have a much cleaner surfaces to mid-surface. So now let's connect them all together. And let's just do a non-manifold add, we call that. And that's to take care of these T-junctions and such. We'll just put those in. It shows you the free edges and shows nothing on the connected edges. So we got a nice connected piece of geometry here. Now one nice thing I want to do is let's just make sure there's no short edges, and Femap says, oh, there's two, so we can use the entity locator to show me these short edges. You can see what we got down here is just a little bit of overrun there, but that's where that tool comes in handy again. The mesher would actually automatically skip him, but just to clean everything up, let's just move that around one more time. Pick the point I want to go to, pick the point I want to move, takes care of it. We'll go find, there's a similar condition on the other end, so pick that. Now everything's completely connected. So now let's just throw a mesh on this and be ready to go. So we'll assign mesh attributes, and this basically remembers from the mid-surfacing what thicknesses to put on. And we'll just pick an aluminum here to make the material. So now Femap's connected or created the properties required. Here's the different thicknesses it came up with. Came up with 10 there, 20 there, and 22 here. Looks good. So let's go ahead and assign some mesh sizing. This will just assign, I'll let Femap pick a default, and then we'll mesh the same surfaces. So I hit previous. We'll put down that mesh, and you can see there's a pretty nice mesh. Now, if I really want to get a lot of control going, and actually look at that, I see some short edges. I guess they weren't short enough for the other thing. The setting was still too high, but we can still take care of these. Pick the point I want to move, updates the mesh automatically, and there's probably a matching friend on the other side. Maybe not. Things are looking really good there in the mesh, but just to go a little further, let's get a really nice mesh right around those holes. I'm going to burn a washer in around there, and you see that it also assigns a map mesh to that washer. Get absolutely perfect mesh. So much better mesh around those holes. We could also make that mesh size a little tighter if we really wanted to go down. So I'll just go down like this and change the mesh size here, and just double down. And you can see how you can get to a pretty nice mesh pretty quick. If you wanted to really get a lot of control going here and get a map mesh out here as well, some other nice tricks here, I can just do some more splitting, and we'll just split from there to there, and we got our point here and here. And then what we can do is mesh sizing wise, I can see there's 14 out there and only 7 in here. Is just bump him up. I'm just doing it one at a time. I could just go type the 14 in, but I'm not. Let's go do one more. And let's see, we got 4 there, 4 there. Oh, we got that one little edge here. That's why we got to go up one. So there we can get a real nice mesh right in that area too. So pretty easy to get a mid-surface mesh, pretty easy to tailor that mesh to exactly what you want.